I became involved in the writing of this book because I was aware of the limited amount of writing that was done by professional practitioners about what they do, and also the relatively limited amount of writing done by academics even. And I think the significance and impact of what we do is so important that we need to be communicating this better. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is I'm just a theory geek. I just love writing about theory because I think that it's so important to the practice that we do. And I want other people to be doing that as well.
I was delighted to be asked to be involved in this book. I really enjoy writing. And we don't get the chance as community workers really to write, certainly in this kind of extended way. I suppose for my own learning as well, I wanted to really explore at a greater depth some of the links between the theory and practice.
I was very lucky. I've been lucky throughout my career to be mentored by some really knowledgeable and experienced community workers who've taught me a great deal. All of us felt that there was a lack of a really practical kind of how-to book on this subject, and so I suppose this book is about trying to address that. And for me, I really want to empower community workers and give them the tools to better be able to understand the values of their interventions, but also to be able to better argue for them. For me, I really want this to be about practitioners and their own development.
I still believe really strongly in the hugely important difference that effective community work can make to people's lives. I think actually that it's even more essential in these difficult COVID times where increasing poverty and isolation is making life even harder for those people that are facing the most disadvantage. Throughout my career, I believed strongly that we needed to show and to tell other people such as employers, politicians, funders, about the powerful and positive impact that community work can make. I often felt very frustrated that we were not doing this as effectively as we might. And so I was delighted when Karen offered me the opportunity to become involved in writing this book.
I've felt for a long time that there continues to be a gap or a vacuum around the community work sector's ability to demonstrate the importance, the value, and the quality of the work that it does. This has been a concern of mine for a long time, so when the opportunity arose to be able to work with others to look at this more closely, I jumped at that chance.
I think gathering evidence is important because we know what we do is good, we know it, but we need to be able to show it to others. And I think there are 3 dimensions in which we need to show it. The 3 Ps, I call them: the personal, the professional, and the political. And the personal is about looking at how am I doing, self-evaluation and affirmation to ourselves of what we do and a bit of celebration of what we do. Then the professional is, does it work? Do we need to change things? It's about the project itself. And then political reasons are very much about we may need to show our supervisor that what we do works.
Probably the main reason is actually kind of linked to what we're really about as community workers, which is about social justice. And I think if we're serious about social justice, then we also have to be serious about knowing how and if and where we've made a difference.
It's also really important for us to be able to do this for the people in the communities that we serve. We have a massive obligation to them, and the best way obviously that we can protect the work is by being able to evidence its importance. If we really want to protect this work, we need to be able to say not only that it's good, but why it's good and why it should be maintained. And I think also we have a massive obligation to provide the very best learning in our communities that we can.
We continue to talk well about the work we do with passion and enthusiasm. We hear that from practitioners. I hear that on a daily basis from the people I work with, but we talk less effectively about the difference we make. And in terms of securing resources going forward for the kind of work we do, it's absolutely important. Budgets are becoming constrained, the world's in a different place. If our work is important, which I feel it is, we need to absolutely be able to show that that's the case. So this is a really important aspect of the work that I do at the moment.
Demonstrating the impact of work is often the part of the process that is given least thought and effort and can be skipped over altogether. Sometimes the constraints of time and budget and just the pressure of getting on with the face-to-face work can reduce the priority that's given to gathering and demonstrating evidence that shows the impact the work has had on individuals and communities. This is partly because of the complexity of the work, I think, the complexity of the work that's undertaken by community workers. And we hope in our book to show a variety of methods that people can use to capture some of that complexity and demonstrate impact.